Hi guys, welcome to Pretty Little Claws. My name's Lisa Graves and today I'm going to show you this super cute kiss design using a stamping technique. Okay, so I've already laid down 2 layers of Soft Cuddles and I'm going to be using a couple of colours from the new Holographic collection. So the first one I'm going to be using is Confession, which is a beautiful pink, and I'm going to be using the 003 brush. I'm just going to pop a dollop of that on at the back of my nail. And load my brush up. You can just use some tin foil or something. So I'm going to be painting the corners of these nails, kind of like a smile line, but no curve, just straight corners into a point. So line up on both sides where you want that to start, and we need to make sure that they join in the centre. And then I can just fill this in just with my brush and tweak it if necessary, just to make those lines super straight. And when you're happy, that can go into the lamp for a full cure. So I'm going to repeat the same process on this finger, and I'm going to be using Indiglow, which is a nice purple. I'm going to repeat the same process on the thumb, and today I'm going to be using Tulum. Before I move on to these 2 nails, I am going to top coat these 3. So I'm using the Urban Graffiti top coat. So I always recommend that you work on some tissue paper when you're stamping, otherwise you will make a mess of your desk. So I'm going to be using this stamping plate today. So I'm going to be using the lips. I'm not sure which one I'm going to be using yet, but I'm going to be painting over them. I'm just going to be using these lips just as a guideline, a rough guide for us to paint over. You can freehand your lips, but if you're not very good with freehand drawing, stamping is a really good way to get your base design down, and then you can paint over the top. So you're going to need your stamping plate. You'll need some kind of scraper. You can also use an old library card or something like that. It doesn't have to be a specific stamping scraper. You will need a stamper. I like this one, it's a big jelly one and it's nice and see-through. And I always use a lint roller to keep that nice and clean. I'll give that a good clean before we get started. You will need some white stamping polish of your choice. So I'm going to be stamping the lips on to these nails, and I'm going to, just like I said, I'm just going to be stamping them in white, and then I'm going to be painting over them. So the white will give a nice base for us to use the holographic gel polishes on top. So I might just actually use the whole thing, just use a selection of sizes. So when you are stamping, I recommend that you have everything to hand in front of you, ready to go, because we need to work quite swift in terms of picking the design up off the stamping plate. So I always clean my plates with acetone, and I always clean my stamper with my lint roller. I never use any products on my stamper. So the trick with stamping is all in the stamper. Once we've scraped our excess polish off, we want to be rolling our stamper over the plate to pick the design up. As light pressure as you can manage, so we do need to be pressing to pick it up, but we don't want to be pressing hard. If you're pressing hard, you'll push the polish into the plate and it won't pick up, so it needs to be a nice gentle roll. So make sure you've got your stamper ready with the lid off. Make sure you've got the lid off your polish, and make sure that you've got your scraper ready to go. It needs to be quite a quick, swift movement. So I'm going to pick up as much of this as possible. So with my polish, I'm going to put quite a big dollop like that. I'm going to just scrape at 45-degree angle and straight away roll. So you should then pick your design up straight away. So don't worry about anything else that it's picked up, because we're going to remove that. And using my lint roller, I'm just going to take away any of the little bits that I don't want. And if there's any small imperfections like at the top of this lip, I'll normally just use my own nail or an orange wood stick just to remove that. Okay, so when you're happy with what you've got left on your stamper, we can then transfer this over to the nail. So the good thing about these stampers is that they're see-through. So you should be able to see right through to where you're going to position this and then stamp. So I'm going to put this quite high up the nail. Because these nails are long, I'm going to have to do this twice. But you should be able to see through there now where I've squashed the jelly down, and that will have now printed off like that. So any of these excessive bits around the side should come off nice and easy, like so. And then I'm going to do the whole process again just to get a little bit more detail down here. So I need to get that polish off my plate. So when you're cleaning your plates, make sure you're moving in all sorts of directions. So I'm going to repeat the whole process again. Make sure I've got everything to hand. Big blob of polish. A couple of nice firm scrapes and a nice gentle roll. And again, that will pick that design up for you. Back in with your lint roller and remove what you don't want. And then you can line that up by looking through the top onto the nail. And it is only a small section of this that I'm going to be using just to fill that end out. So what I've got left on there I can actually now use on this nail. So nice firm press, and then you can take that off. And now I just need one more. So make sure you clean everything up before you move on to the next stage. Okay, so now I've got my lips on there ready for me just to trace around with whichever colour I want to use. So just on a piece of tin foil, I've just popped a couple of blobs of Confession, Shine On, Indiglow, Tulum and Coral Reef. So these are all from the Holographic range. So using my 003 again, I'm just going to colour each section of these lips, literally just cover the stamping that we've done, but I can use that as a guide, and because we've stamped in white it will really help these holographic colours pop as well. So just a small section at a time, and I'm going to do each lip a different colour. So you can do the whole nail in one go, or you can just do a couple of lips and then flash cure. Just pop in for a couple of seconds. Okay, and I'll just repeat the same process on this now. And then we can finish these two nails off just with top coat. And in for a full cure. And I'm going to be using the almond cuticle oil for these nails. So here are the finished nails. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video tutorial. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And all the links to the products used will be in the description box below. Thanks!